Hello and welcome to the Body Wise podcast. I'm Beth Manning and I am a psychic healer. I help you heal your body not only to resolve symptoms, but to also step into the highest expression of your health, body, energy, and life. So I really take my bodywork background and fuse it with my psychic abilities, being able to read the energy, being able to understand exactly your case, your situation, how you are unique. And I don't use a specific modality. I use my energy in order to help you to heal. So it's a very customized approach to healing. So if you are new to the podcast, welcome. We have a brand new name, Body Wise. And I'm working on a couple of exciting things with this podcast, getting more video out there. If you're watching this now, you can also watch the video of it. I'm putting together a YouTube channel as well. So stay tuned for lots of fun things in 2025. But I didn't want to wait to, get some new content out because I know that there's just a lot going on in the world right now. And I would love to express some ways to start getting more of what you want in life, getting more of those big dreams and goals that you put on your list at the beginning of the year, helping those to actually become a reality. So I was really burning to share this today. And I have also created a new masterclass that a lot of the content that I want to share today, we're going to go much, much deeper inside of that masterclass. So I hope that you're able to join me for that. If this sparks you, if this lights you up, if you're like, yes, I want to go deeper, I want to learn more. I made it such a no-brainer price of $55 because I just want this information out there. And that's a Black Friday special price that will be good until Monday, December 2nd at midnight, and then it goes up to $97. So either way, I would love to have you join me. And really what we're talking about in this masterclass is the 3-step process to receive what you most desire. I've been working with so many clients and taking myself through this process as well to really get move those blocks and move the energy that is keeping you from having what you most desire, from really stepping into the life that you envision for yourself. And I know for so many of my clients, it looks like self-sabotage or having to be perfect, and that keeps you from acting. Or maybe this is you, like you know what you need to do, you know what needs to shift in your life, but you just can't seem to show up and make that change stick and do the things that you know that you need to do. And I think a lot of times people label themselves as like, I'm such a failure, or I can't come through for myself, or, what is wrong with me? Like, am I just broken? Am I not supposed to do this thing or have this thing? And that's not the case at all. And it took me a long time to realize this in my life because I used to be the kind of person where I have a lot of energy. It's like I want something, so I'm going to create mantras, and then I'm going to visualize that dream and spell out that new life, and then I'm going to get up and try to push myself through to do these things. And it wasn't getting me anywhere. It wasn't helping. It was just making me feel really frustrated, really stuck, and what am I doing wrong? How am I so bad at this? So I really started, when I started to understand energy, I started to understand the nervous system at a different level as well. That essentially, a lot of times we're trying to plug the equivalent of a 100-watt light bulb. We're trying to run it through a 50-watt circuit. It's like, you're at 50 watts right now. This is, your body is comfortable with the level that you're at right now, with what's in your life, with how many challenges are in your life, with your level of income, with where you're at in your relationship. That's the 50 watts. But you have this 100-watt dream. And the universal energy this year is really pushing us all to have those 100-watt dreams, to have big things starting to come into our mind and into our everyday life of, this is what I really want, or if I could just do this, or man, this is my dream. Those things are starting to really permeate and become more of a reality this year. So that is like having that 100-watt light bulb and trying to screw it into the 50-watt circuit. And we all know enough about science that that's not going to work. Okay, so what's happening here with your body is it's creating safety. Your body says, I am perfectly safe at 50 watts. I don't know how to respond to 100 watts. 100 watts feels unstable. I don't really have a plan for how to manage that. And what's even more underneath this is our subconscious mind, which is silently giving us cues in the background and giving our body cues for how to respond to new, potentially dangerous things, because your body sees it as danger. It doesn't see it as an exciting opportunity. And your subconscious is bringing up all these past thoughts from your childhood, from society, from the way that you were raised, that maybe contradict the thing that you want. But the thing about the subconscious is it's kind of sneaky. It's not right in our face. It doesn't say, you weren't trusted with money as a kid, and you didn't see that there was a lot of money coming into your life as a kid, and your parents saw it as a scarce resource. So therefore, I don't think it's really safe to have a lot of this right now. So oftentimes these are playing almost like tapes in the background, silently shifting our energy, shifting the way that your body shows up, the way that you feel, shifting the openness that you have to this new thing. And we just label this as like self-sabotage, or maybe I need to go back to school and get another certification or something before I'm ready for this. So we tell ourselves all these stories in response to the stories that our subconscious is telling us that aren't even true. So we really, in order to make that 100-watt dream a reality, we have to shift the energy inside of our bodies. Because if you have this energy that's constantly contradicting what you want, you're likely not going to bring what you want into reality until you can start to understand this energy. So I have a 3-step process that I use when I bump up against something in my life that I want, that I desire, but that's just not coming in. That just seems kind of far away, where it's like, okay, I want to understand what's going on under the hood here. What is happening in my energy that is preventing me from holding this? What is happening in my nervous system that is creating this feeling that this isn't safe for me to have this? And how can I create that safety? How can I create a much better message inside of my body where the energy is saying, yes, this is what we want. This is what we're attracting. This is what we are open to receive. Because you can make that shift. And you can make that shift pretty quickly. But the problem is that we often don't understand the root of what's actually happening in our subconscious. A lot of times we'll go in with our logical mind and we'll say, well, money was a problem when I was a child and that's why it's coming up now. And okay, yeah, I understand it. But the thing is, our memory and the actual energy of what happened are often two different things. And this is the beauty of energy work, is that when we start going down, when we start tracing that stream of energy back to understand the truth of what actually happened, that's when we start to make the bigger shifts. That's when we can start to do healing at a much, much deeper level, because your mind doesn't always remember things the way that they actually happened. A lot of times we base things on stories that we hear, or, just what feels safer to us in order to remember or to have our story, or what validates our identity. We'll start to remember that as our story. So I want to quickly run through the 3-step process that I use, that I find is just an amazing way to shift the energy and to also shift your nervous system. So I'm going to go much deeper into detail with this in the masterclass that's called Magnetize, but I want to give you a taste of what it is now. So we always start with some goal that you have, something where it feels like you're stuck in a pattern that keeps repeating, you're having trouble getting out of a cycle, or something, a goal, a desire. That's where we start with this, somewhere where you're feeling stuck. And then the first step is really to identify that resistance. And this is where we want to go deep with this. We want to be able to get into the subconscious mind, and I have some ways of doing that. But if just listening right now, if you can just start to get away from your own story, if you can start to kind of relax things and start to go deep, either through talking, through journaling, and understanding the core belief. So that's what we want to get to with this. We want to get to what is the actual core belief. Because a lot of times it's like we have this root of something and then all the branches that stem off of this. And we can spend so much of our life chasing the branches. So if you're looking for answers, it's like, oh, it's this branch. I'm going to cut this branch down. No, actually, I think it's this branch. Cut this branch down. But the problem is that the root is still underneath. The root is still producing the energy of what we don't want, and it's magnifying it out into the world, and then you're attracting that back. That's how energy works. Like attracts like. So what we have to do is we have to change the root. Okay, but first we have to understand what the root is. So that's step 1, is really getting to the bottom of the root, understanding what that energy actually is, not necessarily what we remember it to be, but the truth of what it is. And there are some very powerful practices to do that. So after we understand what this root is, we are on step number 2, and that's we want to shift that energy. So we want to say, okay, this root is not getting me what I want. This is keeping me stuck. This belief is keeping me in this pattern, this same relationship. This is keeping me what I don't want. I'm in the same job. My life is not changing the way that I want it to. So we have to swap out that belief and that energy of the belief for a new one. And the problem is, I think a lot of people will try to overwrite a belief by just shoving a new belief in their face. Like, I'm abundant, or I am worthy. But you don't really believe it. I've done that too before. It's like you're just trying so hard to get it out. It's like, I am good enough. I am worthy, and it doesn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then it's probably not doing anything on the energetic level. We can't just force a new belief in until that old belief is that we release the energy of it. There's only so much room in your body, right? And that old belief is so dense and so heavy that we need to replace it with something lighter, something that feels good, something that is moving you toward more of what you want in life. So in this master class, we're actually going to do the energy work together. I'm going to take you through a journey doing the energy work through a healing that's going to help to actually shift the energy in your cells, start to bring this new energy down even to your DNA level so that we can clear the root and put something more powerful in its place. And what I love about this is a meditation that you can have in your back pocket for whenever you bump up against something that it's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. This is holding me back. I just know it. And we can start to go through this process to clear it. So once you've done the energy work, right, we take out what we don't want. We put something more powerful in its place. And then the last step to this process, number 3, is the nervous system piece of starting to reinforce what we do want more of in life. And with the nervous system, it's a matter of doing. It's a matter of being. It's a matter of, it's almost like your nervous system is a little kid and you're saying to it, I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to help you see that this is safe. I know this feels really scary, but come with me and we're going to figure this out together. And that's where we will start to brainstorm some ways that you can reinforce the new energy, that you can help it to stick, that you can help it to grow in your body. Because with energy work, oftentimes we think, oh, I did the energy work. I am good. I am all set. And the thing is that it's very easy at first to slide back into old beliefs and old patterns because they're like grooved into our nervous system. It's a very easy path to travel. Whereas if you have to bushwhack a new path, it's going to take a while to wear it down and to really have that path be clear and the defaults. So it's so important to start putting actions in place that reinforce this new pattern, that reinforce what you're wanting. So if you're working on your self-worth, you're starting to tell people what you need. You're starting to say no. You're starting to prioritize your needs. You're checking in with your body for what it needs to feel good that day. And then we're doing these patterns over and over so your nervous system starts to feel safe, saying no, disappointing people, putting your needs first. So that's just an example. But this is a process that you can repeat over and over again. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a masterclass called Magnetize. It's currently $55. And for that, you're getting 2 hours and a lot of really powerful energy work. And we're going to go deep into each step. We're going to do these together, answering questions as we go, shifting the energy, and just really moving through this process so that there's a deeper understanding of it and so that it's something that you can continue to use over and over again. So the Magnetize Masterclass will be held on December 11th. And the early bird Black Friday pricing of the $55 is through December 2nd at midnight. And then after that, it goes up to $97. I also am only opening up a limited number of spots for this so that people can get some personalized attention and make sure everybody's moving along through the process and nobody's stuck or has any questions. So it's always important for me during these live events is to be able to answer people's questions. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to place the link below, and I would love to have you join me, especially with the energy of 2025. It's really opening up so much of this asking for us to look deeper and to really understand our core beliefs so that we can move forward. It's going to be so important. So I hope to see you there. And I will be bringing so much more to this podcast in the future, really getting into working with your body, healing, stepping into the next version of your life, really opening up that energy and moving forward. So much cool stuff is coming for the Body Wise podcast. But I thank you so much for listening today. And it would mean the world to me if you would share this with a friend, a loved one, someone who needs to hear this. And I would love to have a starred rating or review as well. If you have a minute or two to leave that, really helps more people find this podcast. So thank you so much for tuning in today to Body Wise, and I will see you next time.